senior, wearing number 1, Derek Bolton III. A 5'9" junior, wearing number 3, Amonte Green. A 5'10" senior, wearing number 5, Ricky Johnson. A 5'9" freshman, wearing number 15, Tadario Payne. And a 6'3" sophomore, wearing number 21, Samuel Tarver. The Panthers are coached by Greg Bowler, assistant coaches Jason Alexander, Janelle Ellis, David Hardy, and Leo Booth. And now for your Chippewa Valley Big Reds. A 6-foot junior, wearing number 1, Isaiah Joliffe. A 6'3" senior, wearing number 2, Devin Lilly. A 6'1" senior, wearing number 3, Ricky Mosley. A 6'2" senior, wearing number 10, Ryan Schuster. And a 6'4" sophomore, wearing number 34, Jordan Wright. Big Reds are coached by Corey Smith. Assistant coaches Kenny Gwynn and Corey Gray. Your referees for this evening are Alex
A cool share of the MAC Red title on the line tonight as the Chippewa Valley Big Reds take on the Roseville Panthers in boys varsity basketball. Hello again, everybody. I'm Brad Fetters, joined once again by my broadcast partner, Brittany Packer, as we come to you tonight from the Valley, Chippewa Valley, nearly set to go. Let's meet the starters tonight. First for the Roseville Panthers. It'll be number 1, Derek Bolton, number 3, Amonte Green, number 5, Ricky Johnson, number 15, Todario Payne, and number 21, Samuel Tarver. Devin Lilly getting the start. It's a typical 5 on the floor for Chippewa Valley to start. Joliffe, Lilly, Mosley, Schuster, and Jordan Wright. And it was Devin Lilly that missed that point-blank shot to open things up here for Chippewa Valley, who comes in with a 10-3 record. But more importantly, 6-2 in the MAC Red. They have a 1-game lead on Dakota coming into play tonight, and an opportunity with a 7th win here at home to capture at least a share of the league title.
Big Reds also looking to break a little bit of a losing streak here, unfortunately.
Yeah, Chippewa Valley has lost 2 straight, both conference games. Their only 2 losses in MAC Red action have come in their last 2 games. The most recent, a 57-56 loss to L'Anse Creuse North. That was a game we had right here on Chippewa Valley Cable. It was a game that Chippewa Valley fell behind early, came racing back late in the 4th quarter. Had an opportunity to win it in OT. Had a 2-point lead late in the overtime period and followed a Crusader in the act of shooting a 3-pointer, and he calmly knocked down all 3 free throws. And Devin Lilly had an opportunity at the buzzer to win that game for Chippewa Valley. Unfortunately for him and the Big Reds, his shot came up short. So Chippewa Valley has had plenty of opportunities of late to capture that league title, and 0 for 2 in opportunities, losing to Dakota and L'Anse Creuse North. This game against the Panthers, as that pass sails out of bounds, is a makeup game from last week after the big snowstorm canceled school. So a rare Monday night start here for both teams. A nice little bunny floater in the lane for Monte Green. Green coming off a 16-point performance in Roseville's most recent victory, a 64-59 win over Sterling Heights Stevenson. And another turnover there for Chippewa Valley off the hands of Ricky Mosley. He thought that was last touch by the Panthers, not going to win that argument. So this has kind of been the story as of late for Chippewa Valley. It's kind of slow, sluggish starts. And now we're going to get a travel violation called. Some stifling defense applied there by Ricky Mosley. If you remember that Dakota game, Chippewa Valley only scored 1 point in the first quarter. So they have Team message tonight had to be to start a little bit faster here. Lilly turns the corner and had his shot rejected. Dario Payne getting out in transition, and this time it's Ricky Mosley with the block shot. Lilly catches in the front court, puts on the Jets, gets to the rim, and gets fouled. He'll shoot 2.
Looks like that's exactly what he was trying to do on that last play. And this time he was able to get the foul he was looking for.
So Chippewa Valley did get a little assistance from Dakota last week. The Cougars losing 59-55 to Grosse Pointe South. That gave Dakota 3 losses now in league play. Really opens the door up here for at least a share of the MAC Red title.
Both baskets for Lilly, good there.
Yeah, that's silky smooth stroke from the free throw line for the 6'3" senior. It's a very athletic Roseville team. They're leaders in most points scored this season in MAC Red play, coming in averaging nearly 62 points per game, but they also give up the most points in the MAC Red. Their defense has given up nearly 60 points per contest. So really a contrast in style. Roseville wants to play a game that's up and down the floor, and the first to 60 will win, but for the Chippewa Valley Big Reds, they're averaging 54.5 points per game offensively, while just giving up 51 points per game. So Chippewa Valley's a team that's a lot more patient on the offensive zone. They get into these half-court sets, and you'll oftentimes see them ringing around the perimeter and constantly looking for that open look. Ricky Mosley blows a tire. He's back up on 2 feet, and this time he shuffled his pivot foot.
It's a bit of an impressive show of control there as he slid out from under his feet, but still was able to maintain that, at least for a moment.
Mosley did leave that Dakota game with an apparent ankle injury, so good to see him getting the start here tonight. Really didn't play a lot against L'Anse Creuse North, as he was kind of in and out of the lineup on that night, but appears to be at full strength here tonight against the Panthers. 2-2 is their score, 4:35 remaining in the opening quarter of play. Pass sails out of bounds, so the two teams trading turnovers. It hasn't exactly been a clean first quarter of basketball. Panthers going to apply a little bit of full court pressure.
It almost makes you wonder if the Panthers know that Chippewa struggles a little bit in the first half of play.
Lilly turns the corner, finds an open lane to the hoop, lays it up, lays it in. 4 quick points for Devin Lilly. First lead of the ball game now for the Big Reds.
Lilly's always one to watch for the Big Reds in terms of being a high scorer for Chippewa.
Coming off a 20-point performance in that loss. That's going to be a long range too. Derek Bolton the third. Not much of a contrast in uniform styles, as Ryan Schuster knocks down the triple. Roseville comes in those road grays with red numerals. Chippewa Valley in their home whites with red numerals. And a little bit of a ticky-tack call right around the midcourt stripe. Roseville getting ready to bring in for the first subs of the game. Be Jason Hunter, the 5'10" senior, along with number 12.
For the Panthers is Anthony Scott.
AJ Scott wearing number 12. 5'10" sophomore. Little give and go there. Monte Green. He's got a bucket here tonight for the Panthers. Good feed inside. Double team comes, but it was just a little too late. As AJ Scott lays it in. Lilly getting a little full court pressure now from Ricky Johnson. Lilly goes behind the back, crossover dribble now, a little jab step. Works his way around to Jordan Wright's screen. Mosley tried to drive baseline, got cut off, was able to dish it off to Jordan Wright. Jordan Wright really maturing into that starter's role. He's only a sophomore, 6'4". And a terrific pocket pass into the hands of A.J. Scott. A.J. Scott has provided the Panthers with a bit of a lift here off the bench, as he's quickly got 4 points. Pace of play has definitely picked up as well. Both teams have cleaned things up. Joe Lippy, pull-up jumper is short. He got fouled, no call. And a good takeaway by Mosley, unable to finish. Wright comes down with the board, goes straight back up, foul call. Shot refuses to fall, but Jordan Wright will shoot 2 at the line.
Fouls on Brian Hunter. Jordan Wright to the line.
Gonna get Jason Hunter for the foul. Be Wright's first 2 attempts at the line. First is short. Gets a couple hand slaps from Joe Liffey and Schuster. Iron unkind that time for Jordan Wright, so it's empty possession for the Big Reds. Here come the Panthers now. Jason Hunter with the basketball. Backpedals just a little bit, gets a screen from Derek Bolton III, and turns it down. Joe Liffey extending the defense just a bit. Goes behind the back, pull-up jumper is good. Bangs home for Jason Hunter. Cody Clinton getting ready to check into the game for Chippewa Valley. Devin Lilly, circus shot there as he split a couple defenders. Got fouled on his second shot attempt.
Devin Lilly to the line, 2-2.
Lilly's first free throw is good. So Cody Clinton getting ready to check back into the game. He replaces Jordan Wright. Kevin Carter, the 5'11" senior, also checks into the game.
Also in for the Big Reds, Deshaun Goodwin.
Wholesale changes now for Chippewa Valley as they too will bring in Deshaun Goodwin. So 3 fresh bodies into the game for the Big Reds as Lilly knocks down Bull. He's a perfect 4 for 4 from the line. He has a game high 6 points. 11-10, Chippewa Valley out in front. 1:05 left to go in the opening quarter of play. Handoff comes now to Chris Bowler. Bowler, 5'11" senior. Monty Green between the rings. Flips a pass down low. A.J. Scott banging bodies. A.J. Scott, 6 points already for the Panthers.
These Panthers seem like they just can't miss if you let them underneath that basket.
So we got an offensive foul there on Chippewa Valley. Panthers back into the lead, 12-11. Monte Green, oh, got to the lane, couldn't fill it up. It'll go to the line to shoot 2. What a first move there.
Foul Devin Lilly, his second.
That's quickly Devin Lilly's second personal foul, so more than likely he'll go to the bench.
Now the line is Monty Green.
Monty Green goes to the free throw line to shoot 2.
And for the Big Reds is Ryan Schuster.
Schuster will, in fact, replace Devin Lilly. So now the question looms, and it's going to be a big question. How long does Devin Lilly stay on the bench for head coach Corey Smith?
Yeah, that's definitely a good question. Lilly has been the man to watch so far in this first quarter of play for the Big Reds. You're not going to want to leave him on the bench too long, but you're also going to want to make sure he avoids any kind of foul trouble.
most levels of basketball, 2 first-half fouls is an auto bench. It'll be interesting to see how long this Big Red offense can go without their leading scorer. You would imagine the offense with Lilly on the bench will go entirely through the sharpshooting Ryan Schuster. Cody Clinton, we know he can knock down shots from deep. He's calling for the basketball. Instead, they'll go to Schuster up top. And they'll wave off any shot and say the foul occurred on the floor. Jason Hunter, the guilty party. Second foul on Hunter, so he too will sit. Ricky Johnson back into the game for Hunter. Schuster to trigger. Finds Mosley, and once again, Mosley had a hard time turning the corner, took a spill.
Mosley may want to check the bottom of his shoes there. It seems like he keeps slipping and sliding all over.
Yeah, and you point that out, and he keeps rubbing the bottoms of his kicks, and there's a half-court heave is no good. And that will do it for 1 quarter of basketball. The Panthers on the road have a 2-point lead. They lead it 13-11. We'll take a short break here on Chippewa Valley Cable, but when we come back, it'll be the start of the second quarter of play.
Let's clear the smoke about marijuana. Marijuana and teens, what research tells us.
Did you know that marijuana can negatively affect a teen's ability to learn?
A teen who uses is 4 times more likely to report D grades.
A teen that uses marijuana is 2 times more likely to drop out of school.
Marijuana is not safe.
Marijuana is not safe for our kids. Mobilizing Michigan, protecting our kids from marijuana.
Welcome back to Chippewa Valley. Panthers and Big Reds, boys varsity basketball, and it's Roseville in front, 13-11. Brad Fetters alongside Brittany Packer, and Brittany, Roseville getting production out of 4 different players scoring points there. A.J. Scott off the bench leading all Panthers with 6 points. And the feed went inside to A.J. Scott. Roseville wanting a foul call there, don't get one. So Chris Bowler will toss things in from below the basket. Pass comes up top. He gets it right back. Bowler turned down the shot, drive the lane. And we're gonna get a travel call. A little bit of hesitation that time. The result of the play was a travel. Hard to believe we're already in our 9th league game of the season, winding things down.
It just seemed like this season just kind of flew by.
2 games a week, it doesn't take much. We'll have that big MAC red-white crossover. Chippewa Valley is assured a spot in that as the top 4 teams from both leagues will advance. Quick bullet pass up ahead. Derek Bolton, the third, catches.
He must look like he wanted a chance to charge at that basket, didn't get it. He was quickly cut off by Isaiah Joliffe.
That was a good idea, trying to catch the Big Red sleeping. Bolton, the third, one-on-one with Joliffe. Tenacious defense being applied now by Chippewa Valley, and a little bit of a hold there by Cody Clinton as he was getting backed down once again by A.J. Scott. Clinton's first, 5th team foul on the Big Reds. Both teams now with 5 team fouls. Monte Green into the game.
Foul, Cody Clinton, his second.
Clinton playing aggressively, fouled twice really quick here at the start of the second quarter.
Monty Green backs it out. Dario Payne back to Derek Bolton. Bolton pass into the corner. 3 on the way is good. Amante Green. Schuster. Outletted ahead up to Bolton. It's Joe Lippy getting back defensively, but clearly it was last touched by Joe Lippy, and now we have our answer. Devin Lilly back into the game now with 6:11 remaining in the first half with those 2 team fouls.
Crowd's a little on fire here at the Valley. A lot of noise going on, a lot of screaming and cheering for both teams, it seems.
Kind of a late arriving crowd here on a Monday night. Bolton tries to spin, and we're going to get an offensive foul. And they're going to get Derek Bolton III for using his free hand.
For the Panthers, Kevin McLean.
It's a very aggressive matchup of number ones for both teams here. Both players all in each other's faces, both very aggressive, both looking to charge that net.
And Joe Lippy giving up about 4 inches to Derek Bolton. Bolton listed at 6'4", Joe Lippy an even 6 foot. Good clean steal, McLean up ahead. And he's gonna get fouled before the act of shooting. However, that'll be the 7th team foul on Chippewa Valley, so it will send the Panthers to the free throw line.
Ricky Mosley.
Decent amount of time left in this first half that these Panthers will be on bonus ball.
Kevin McLean to the line, shooting 1-1.
Yep, 1-1 the rest of the way. Free throws the rest of the way. Kevin McLean, a 6'1" junior, pure on the first. So we've called enough Chippewa Valley games to know that oftentimes this is a Big Reds offense that can kind of go long stretches of games without scoring, and you kind of get the sense that right now here early on in the second quarter, this is their lull.
Well, they're due for a basket.
Haven't scored yet here in the second quarter. Pocket pick, Ricky Johnson with the steal. Johnson looks up the floor. Finds Amante Green. Green finds a cutter. Going inside, had to adjust because of the block shot. Save there, but tossed a little bit too far by Goodwin. Out of bounds goes the basketball. Panthers will retain. Now a travel call. Skying to hit that shot is Devin Lilly. That's what the Big Reds needed right there.
It was a nice fake there by Lilly to get his defensive player off the side so he could do a queen streak to that basket.
Kevin McLean skies up and hits. Somehow able to adjust his body to hang. Joe Lippy out of control. Roseville bench wanted a travel call.
Foul on Amante Green.
Instead, they're going to get Green for the foul. It'll put Joe Lippy to the line.
Shooting 2.
Both teams now in bonus play.
First one rattles home.
In for the Big Reds, Jordan Wright. And in for the Panthers, Chris Bowler.
Jordan right back into the basketball game, replaces Deshaun Goodwin. Joe Lippy able to knock down both free throws. 19-15, 4:20 now left to go, opening half of play. Chris Bowler Yo-yos the basketball, drives to his right, gets cut off by Joe Liffey. Goes back with the pass, McLean over to Payne. Payne gets that tough assignment, and Mosley knocking down the long-range jumper. Chris Bowler, he might even have been fouled in the act of shooting there.
Yeah, it's safe to say it did look pretty close to being fouled there by Joe Liffey as he went to try and block that shot.
Now Joe Liffey gets called for the offensive foul, using that free hand to create some separation.
As I said before, if there's one thing Joe Liffey is good at, it is playing aggressive. He is always on his man.
Chris Bowler. And it's Schuster that comes away with the steal. Schuster straight ahead, lays it in. Hunter has it. Fires a chest pass into the corner. Looking for the entry pass. It's knocked away. Schuster in the middle of 4 Panthers, and we get a foul called against Roseville. A little bit of a bailout, perhaps. Schuster kind of just put his head down and dribbled himself into trouble and gets bailed out by the call.
His first foul. In for the Panthers, Derek Bolton the third.
Derek Bolton the third back into the game.
Kevin Carter coming back in for the Big Reds.
Carter, the 5'11" senior. It's got a long-range game as well. Schuster knocks down the first. Schuster now with 6 points. Panther lead down to 4, 22-18, 2:46 left to go second quarter. Schuster short on the second. So it's a split at the line for the senior. Roseville team that's in its third year of MAC Red play as Hunter hoists, can't get it to fall. Schuster goes up strong, grabs down the rebound. Panthers went 9-8 a season ago, 4-5 in MAC Red-White play. They captured a share of their MAC Red title back in 2019, along with Sterling Heights Stevenson. This was a Roseville team that was just running wild in the MAC White and really earned that promotion up to the MAC Red. And seemed like they're here to stay. Lily's first on the 1-and-1 short.
Amonte Green back in the game for the Panthers.
Hunter has it. Fancy moves, that ball gets stuck and it'll be a jump ball, possession arrow to Chippewa Valley. Get some hops out of the official there to knock that ball free.
Yeah, finally an official with some height around here. Came in handy to snag that ball down.
And now Sly, a little smile out of the official. Boy, oh boy, you know he couldn't wait to free that ball. So you want to show off some of his skills. Chippewa Valley calmly gets it across the half-court line. Schuster wants the three, he's got it.
That is the second one out of Schuster this evening.
You're absolutely right.
He was on fire during warm-ups too, so let's keep looking for those out of him this evening.
Panthers looking for an answer, can't get it. Ball pinballs around and finally it comes down to the Big Reds. They trail by 1. Schuster quickly up ahead. He wants the three. Can't get it to fall, but it's cleaned up there by Jordan Wright. Good inside out game being played right now by the Big Reds. They are back in front And we got a timeout on the floor. Roseville wants to talk things over as they have watched their big lead vanish in a hurry. It's been all Big Reds here. Late in the second quarter, they lead it 23-22. So we mentioned Chippewa Valley coming off 2 straight losses after winning 6 in a row. Their other game this week is going to be a tough one on the road. It'll be their final MAC Red game of the season, and they'll have to travel down I-94 to take on Grosse Pointe South. That one, folks, will be a good one. That one will take place on Wednesday. You know the Big Reds would like to take care of business tonight here on their home floor so they can clinch the MAC Red title against Grosse Pointe on the road. This Big Reds team is very good here in the Valley, 5-1 on their home floor. Takeaway, Devin Lilly comes away with it. Gonna slow things down. That's a wise play. Gonna wait for some trailing teammates. Kevin Carter with the ball fake. Floats a pass back to Lilly. 50 seconds remaining in the first half. Lilly works his way around a Jordan Wright screen. A little pick and roll play with Jordan Wright. We're gonna get a tie up. Jump ball, Roseville basketball.
In for the Panthers now is Kevin McLean.
Monte Green to pick it up. Walks it across the half-court line. Lilly comes out. Ricky Mosley extends the defense just a little bit. They get right up in the air. Float a pass back to Bolton. Straightaway three is good. Too easy. He was left wide open. Under 20 seconds remaining second quarter. Panthers back in front in a seesaw affair. Lilly into the corner for Schuster. Eyes the three. Knocks it down.
Schuster also making it look easy.
And that buzzer beater will sail wide, and that will do it. A very entertaining first half of basketball with the Big Reds in front, 26-25. Brittany Packer, your thought on the first half?
This is going to be a nail-biter of a game down to the tail end. I can just tell both teams playing aggressive, both teams sinking baskets. Both teams really want this win.
So two teams will talk things over in their respective locker rooms when we come back. It'll be the second half of play. Don't go anywhere.
This is a message to raise awareness of the dangers of youth use of alcohol and other drugs. These are some facts about youth prescription opioid medication misuse from the National Institute on Drug Abuse. Teen abuse of prescription opioid medications has declined steadily over past years. However, young adults 18 to 24 are the largest group abusing prescription medication, including opioids, medications prescribed for ADHD, and anti-anxiety medication. Those that abuse prescription opioids are at greater risk of becoming addicted, of negative life and health consequences, of overdose, and death. Prescription opioids are chemically related to heroin. Nearly 80% of people addicted to heroin started first by abusing opioid medications. Teens that misuse prescription medication get it from their friends, from unsecured medication at their home, or from the home of a relative. Lock up, properly dispose, and never share medication. For more information on the abuse of opioid medication, visit drugabuse.gov.
A 1-point lead for the Chippewa Valley Big Reds. Welcome back. Brad Fetters alongside Brittany Packer, 26-25. Chippewa Valley out in front, thanks in large part to the man who's about to inbound the basketball, Ryan Schuster. Knocked down 3 triples in that first half, gave him 12 points. As Devin Lilly was forced to sit some of that first half with 2 personal fouls. Lilly into the lane, floater no good. And battle for that loose ball, and this is an important foul call. They're gonna get Jordan Wright for the foul.
Jordan Wright is first.
You worried because Devin Lilly was also in the vicinity of the basketball there, and you thought, well, perhaps he might have picked up his third, but the foul call goes against Jordan Wright. Clean steal by Schuster. Pick to Dario Payne's pocket.
Foul on Dario Payne, his third.
And that's Payne's third. And that will cause an automatic sit down as they will bring Brian Hunter back into the game. So big blow to Roseville, having Payne have to sit now with those 3 personals. Lilly with the basketball, hands off to Schuster. Between the rings, looks up. Thought about going to Lilly, is coming around on a curl, but instead goes to Mosley, who couldn't complete the play. And now Mosley will battle for it, comes away with it, goes up and scores.
Mosley!
Well, it wasn't pretty, but he got the points he was looking for.
Mosley sticking with it. Rewarded with a bucket. First points of the half belong to the Big Reds. They're back up 3. Oh, what a move there. Individually scoop, score, and 1. Almonte Green.
Monty Green, that basket is good. Foul on Jordan Wright, his second.
Green, the leading scorer now for the Panthers with 8 points. Coming off a 16-point performance and that win over Stevenson. Roseville playing for their tournament life as they'd like to get invited to that MAC Red-White crossover tournament. Top 4 teams qualify, and right now Roseville and Lance Cruz North are in a battle, both coming into play tonight with 3 and 4 records in league play. Good save out of bounds. Heads up play there by A.J. Scott. Grosse Pointe South mathematically eliminated from MAC Red contention, so it's a 2-team race between Chippewa Valley and Dakota. Whoa, long range 3 on its way, no good. And a defensive foul there on Ricky Mosley over the back. Brian Hunter snatched down the offensive rebound.
Ricky Mosley, his second.
Mosley's second, and hold on a second now. Corey Smith and the official having a little discussion as the official forced Mosley out of the contest. And the official basically gave Corey Smith an ultimatum.
The official looking more heated in the moment than Corey Smith did.
And I'm not entirely sure what that's about. He forced Corey Smith's hand and told him that he had to take Ricky Mosley out of the ball game. First time I've ever seen that. Derek Bolton cans the shot, and now all of a sudden the Panthers are back out in front. Schuster nearly lost control of that dribble. Oh, what a good backdoor cut. Lilly can't finish it off. What a pass. Into the corner, 3 on the way. It's blocked by Lilly. Intensity starting to pick up. Bolton in front of his Panther bench. Hop, skip, and a jump through the lane. And now it's Joe Liffey that comes down with it. Joe Liffey up ahead into the front court. Little crossover dribble. Bolton guarding Joe Liffey. Tip the pass. Schuster has it. Puts on the brakes. Drives the lane. Goes to right and one. Jordan Wright.
Jordan Wright's 6th point of the game.
For the Big Reds, Ricky Mosley.
And Mosley comes back into the game.
Jordan Wright at the line.
See if Jordan Wright's able to complete the 3-point play. He will, in fact, do just that. So you talked about it heading into the halftime break, just how close these two teams are matched here tonight. Last time these two teams hooked up It was a 58-53 victory for the Big Reds over in Roseville. Green goes back to Bolton. Between the circles, takes a couple steps back onto that Chippewa Valley logo. Bolton directs traffic. And we're gonna get a foul away from the basketball. I call AJ Scott for moving screen. Now both benches have a bit of a beef. I think they said that AJ Scott might have lifted up his elbows. Official on the far side of the court, not making friends with either head coaches right now.
Absolutely not. Both coaches giving him a few looks as he's offered up a few explanations on his calls so far this game.
Lilly with the runner. Lilly's first points of the second half. Jordan Wright snatches down the defensive rebound. Joe Liffey up ahead. Not going to wait for any trailing teammates this time. Four different Big Reds have scored in this quarter. 5-point lead. Big Reds starting to pull away. Big moment in this basketball game, one would think, for the Panthers. Hunter defers to Green. Green has it, was looking for the entry pass, and now what?
On Isaiah Jalippi, his third.
Gonna get Joe Liffey for the foul call, and that's his third.
I definitely missed that one. I'm not quite sure what that call was on.
Called Joe Liffey for the push. That's his third. He's gonna stay in the game. So head coach Corey Smith giving him some room to operate with those three personals. Brian Hunter looks over at his home bench. Skying up for that shot, AJ Scott. Got harmed in the process of shooting, so he will shoot 2 free throws. And that's Joe Liffey's fourth, so he picks up back-to-back fouls and now will be forced out of this game. That was a quick rest. Now it's gonna be Deshaun Goodwin getting ready to check back in.
And for the Big Reds is Deshaun Goodwin.
AJ Scott was very good in the first quarter for Roseville. He scored 6 points, has been quiet since. Misses on the second, so it's a split at the line for the sophomore. Up ahead, Lilly twists, turns, skies and hits. Devin Lilly's cheering section making some noise directly in front of us. Back to a 6-point lead. Bolton pull-up jumper's good. Boy, oh boy. Bolton has displayed some flashes of brilliance on the offensive end. Lilly Euro steps, kicks it back to Goodwin. Into the corner wing, in and out on the triple attempt by Schuster.
Well, that would have been a play for the highlight reels had it have been successful for the Big Reds.
Derek Bolton III quickly taking things over now for the Panthers. Lilly, end to end, up ahead. Mosley, clean strip. 3 on the way, good. Deshaun Goodwin.
Full timeout, Big Red.
Chippewa Valley takes the timeout. So we talked about it was a big moment in the basketball game for the Panthers as they trailed by 6, got themselves within 2, and then Deshaun Goodwin from the corner canned a triple, and then Chippewa Valley lead back up to 5:40-35, 2:40 left to go.
The crowd liking what they've seen in the last few minutes of play out of the Big Reds.
So we mentioned Chippewa Valley still has one remaining league game. That will be a road game against Grosse Pointe South. This Roseville team has 2 games remaining in league play, including a home game this week against L'Anse Creuse North before finishing MAC Red play next week against Sterling Heights Stevenson. That is a makeup game as the Stevenson Titans went through some COVID issues. What an entertaining game of basketball being played here tonight. Little bit of everything in a 5-point Big Red lead. Panther ball. Monty Green to bring things up. He has 9 points, a little hesitation. Has the ball in his left hand, crosses over, flips the pass to Brian Hunter. Hunter drives, gets cut off, tried to fade away, no good. Lilly comes down with it. Up ahead, goes all the way in, back to the basket, oh boy.
What an impressive start to this second half for Devin Lilly.
14 points for the senior. One of the largest leads of the night now for Chippewa Valley. Looking for an answer, long range twos, no good. No hesitation out of Lilly. Crosses his man over, drives to the lane again, goes up, was fouled, and will shoot two. Just seems like a man possessed right now.
Well, if he can sink both these free throws, well, he'll have already doubled his points from the first half of play.
Put the jinx on him.
Yeah, a little bit of commentator's curse there. Sorry about that one, Lilly.
Was 4 for 4 from the line. Bounce, a spin, and a miss. So 0 for 2. A rare empty trip to the line for Devin Lilly.
You don't see a lot of that out of him. Perhaps got a bit too razzled out of how hot he's been this second half.
Bolton, ball in his left hand. Pulls up, over to Amante Green. 3-on-3, Mosley guarding Green. Bolton from the right elbow. Pure, what a shot.
An impressive long-range three for him.
Bolton, the third, has been absolutely on fire in this third quarter. He's got 9 points, gives him a team high 14 for the game.
Chippewa needed to slow down a little bit on that last play. A little too much fire in their passes.
Yeah, they kind of get out in front of themselves at times, get a little bit too fast. Didn't need to outlet that ball as it sailed out of bounds. Boy, that's a heat check there. Off the side of the iron, comes down to Ricky Mosley. Gonna have to go now, gets it across the timeline. All the way in. Kind of a dangerous looking pass to no one in particular. And now we'll guide one over to Schuster, behind the back. Schuster goes up, it hangs and hits. Schuster just keeps his team alive. He does everything well. There's a little blow by there, counted and the foul. A little flex of the muscles as well there by Amante Green. Two teams really feeling it now. Foul on Clinton. 7th Big Red foul as Green finishes off the three-point play. 3-point contest, 44-41. Big Red's in front. It's a bonus basketball. Free throws the rest of the way for the Panthers. Clinton asking for help. Tried to fire a pass to Mosley. It was backdoor cutting it.
Clinton verbally frustrated on that play.
Corey Smith yells out the play call. Schuster finds a wide open Lilly and one. Insult to injury there for the Panthers as Lilly's shot falls.
Devin Lilly to the line. Fouls on Chris Bowler.
Try to send some positive juju his way this time to undo the curse I laid in last time he went to the line.
Yeah, you owe it to Devin Lilly. 4 of 6 from the line. Hit every part of the iron and goes down. Pull-up 3 on the way is no good. And that will do it for 3 quarters. Chippewa Valley led by 1 at half. Now leading by 6, 47-41. Take a quick break here on Chippewa Valley Cable, but when we come back, it'll be the start of the 4th quarter play.
These are some facts about youth alcohol use. While the good news is that underage drinking has declined over the years, rates of youth alcohol use are still high. 30% of 12th graders in the United States reported drinking in the past month. Alcohol use by teens frequently involves binge drinking. Regular alcohol use can damage the developing teen brain, creating problems with learning, memory, and processing information. Youth alcohol use is associated with other negative consequences, including poor school performance, injury and death from car crashes, suicide, mental health issues, and use of other drugs. The majority of those diagnosed with an alcohol use disorder in adulthood began drinking by the age of 18.
Welcome back to the Valley. Chippewa Valley, Brad Fetters alongside Brittany Packard. It'll be Panther basketball to start this 4th quarter of play. They trail by 6, 47-41. Monte Green, 6 points in the 3rd quarter, gives him 12 now in the contest. He has the basketball. He eyes the 3 and just peered it. Nothing but nylon there for Monte Green.
Shot that shot over some height from Chippewa Valley too. That was an impressive 3-pointer.
Hand in his face 3, and Schuster and Lilly finally work the ball up the floor. Schuster catches it, draws a double team. Lilly gets a double team now from the stifling Roseville defense, and going up strong is Jordan Wright. He will shoot 2.
Calls on Samuel Tarver. Jordan Wright to the line.
Wright takes his time at the line.
And now for the Panthers is A.J. Scott.
A.J. Scott back in the game for the Panthers.
Scott been quiet after those 6 quick points back in the 1st quarter.
Looking like that foul is going to go against Jordan Wright.
So that's his 3rd, 8th team foul, so they're starting to add up now for Chippewa Valley.
Chippewa's going to have to slow down on those fouls. There's a lot of time left in this game to keep playing at that rate.
Bolton only able to make 1. Pass comes over to Mosley on the far side of the floor. He's able to tiptoe the sideline. Greg Bowler, the head coach for Roseville, thought he stepped out of bounds. No call. Schuster into the lane. Goes up. Gets it to fall. Up ahead quickly. Here come the Panthers now. A little pocket pass. Follow up. The miss with a make is A.J. Scott. He's a difference maker for the Panthers. A little bit of a reach-in foul there at the half-court line. Officials got it.
Foul on A.J. Scott, his 3rd.
7th team foul on Roseville, so 1-1 coming up here now for Jordan Wright.
Jordan Wright from the line, shooting 1 point.
Wright hits the first, earns the second. Two makes at the line for Wright. Two-possession basketball game once again, 52-47. Bolton with the ball. Might have created some separation with his free hand. Misses on the three, and now we got a travel call. That jump stop and just a little bit of a shuffle of the foot there by Kevin McLean cost him. It's a big empty possession for the Panthers offensively. Lilly takes a little bit of a shove from behind, no call. Puts on the Jets now, puts the ball behind his back, now crosses over his defender, Chris Bowler. Lilly holds the ball high above his head. Bowler reaches in. They're gonna get tie-up, jump ball. Possession arrow favors the Big Reds.
Possession arrow, Big Reds.
That was a quick call by that official on the jump ball.
It's a call that definitely frustrated Lilly. Looks like he'll get called for traveling now.
Yeah, Lilly came to that jump stop and wanted a ball fake and instead traveled. Beautiful crossover there by Green, now picks up his dribble. Fires a pass right off the shoe of Mosley. Mosley up ahead, takes it right into the teeth of the defense and got fouled. Derek Bolton didn't agree with that call. It's his third, eighth on the team. So this game has come to a grinding halt all of a sudden as any sort of momentum and cohesion has stopped. As both teams are just racking up the fouls.
In for the Panthers now is Ricky Johnson.
And it's going to be a slow-going game from here on out.
Yeah. Free throws, obviously, the rest of the way as both teams are approaching a double bonus. Offensive rebound by Wright. And tapped out of bounds by the Panthers. That's a ball that they got to come down with if they have any hopes of coming back in this basketball game. Under 6 minutes left in regulation. Big Reds in front, 53-47. Schuster holds the ball high above his head. Lofts a pass to Lilly. Top of the key. Comes inside with it. And just had it stripped away. Good clean steal by Chris Bowler. Bowler over to Bolton the third. Bolton fires a quick pass to Green. Will set up shop. Head coach Greg Bowler puts his hands at the side of his body to indicate to slow things down. Going up with the hanging shot, Derek Bolton. And Roseville will ask for and get a timeout.
Full timeout, Panthers.
Well, the Panthers cutting things down to just a 4-point ball game.
So we talked about the MAC Red-White crossover tournament. Chippewa Valley leading the MAC Red. Dakota full game behind. For MAC White fans, Romeo has claimed at least a share of the MAC White title. They're off to a perfect 8-0 start in league play. Eisenhower 6-2. New Haven and Grosse Pointe North both at 500 with 4-4 records in MAC White play. So one would think Romeo will come out on top. New Haven, Grosse Pointe North, and Eisenhower will fall behind and will qualify for their half of the bracket. Top 4 teams from each league qualify. The 5 and 6 teams will play in non-qualifier games. So you have red teams on one half of the bracket, white teams on the other. One will play 4, 2 will play 3. And eventually we'll have a team from the red bracket square off with a team from the white bracket in the tournament championship game. Nice of the MAC to do that. Makes sense. Get teams ready for one-and-done tournament play rather than play just a bunch of non-conference games late in the year. Playing some tough competition. Schuster back down his defender, couldn't hit. And allowing that ball to go out of bounds, Chris Bowler and Greg Bowler's head coach can't believe it. Chris Bowler could have easily picked up that basketball before it went over the end line, and now the officials are going to talk this one over. Will they reverse this call? They will not. And now Schuster stepped on the out of bounds. So fortunately, unfortunately, that previous call didn't matter. Bolton into the corner, driving baseline, going up, hanging, can't hit. Bolton momentarily came down with the offensive rebound, getting down and dirty. Chris Bowler, now Wright goes down and gets it. Outlet to the head to Devin Lilly. Lilly goes all the way in and hits.
Devin Lilly!
What a defensive possession there for Chippewa Valley. You know they want this game. That just proved it there. Bolton gonna have to create something offensively, and he does just that. Pretty move. A little bit of full court pressure now by the Panthers with 4 minutes exactly remaining in regulation. Oh, dangerous pass out of bounds. Lilly got pushed, no call.
Well, Lily wanted that push call, getting a little verbal towards the ref there.
And for the Panthers is Brian Hunter, and for the Big Reds,
You worry if you're a Chippewa Valley fan. That little bit of sense of doubt creeping in after their performance late in that Lance Cruz North game. Thinking about the three, Johnson instead drives the paint and gets the bunny to fall.
We knew it going into halftime that this was going to come down to the wire, and it surely is.
Full court pressure being applied by Roseville results in another turnover. They're starting to pile up now.
Ryan Schuster, his first.
And Chippewa Valley needs a timeout.
The 32nd timeout for the Big Reds.
Roseville team comes in with a even 500 record of 6-6. They've hung tough with the top teams in the MAC Red. 6-point loss to Dakota, 9-point loss to Dakota, and 5-point loss to these Chippewa Valley Big Reds. So this has been a Roseville team that has been in every single basketball game this season. First is good, off the right hand to Ricky Johnson. Ricky Chance starting to break out amongst the Panther faithful. And just like that, we got ourselves a tie ball game. JV game went into overtime. Schuster able to make his way up to the front court. Being harassed there by Derek Bolton III. Schuster forced to pick up his dribble. Gets it right back. Drives into the paint. And will shoot two. Good aggressive move there by Schuster, and is rewarded with a couple freebies.
Fouls on Derek Bolton III. Ryan Schuster at the line, shooting two.
That's Derek Bolton III's fourth foul.
He's going to have to play it careful from here on out. He's been a key player for this Roseville team. They're not going to want to lose him.
Panther assistant coach quickly up on his feet, letting head coach Greg Bowler know that Bolton has 4 personal fouls. Apparently they're going to keep Bolton in this basketball game. Going to want him for his offense at least. Perhaps he comes out in the next defensive set. So it's a split at the line there for Schuster. Monty Green explores and hits. Monty Green's gonna get teed up. Monty Green had some choice words after that made basket, and he got teed up. We saw Monty Green flex his muscles. Referees didn't tee him up for that. Now he said a few things to a Big Red player after the made basket, and he got teed up.
Roseville crowd not liking that call. They're all on their feet.
Official on that far side of the court is listening to what Greg Bowler has to say. 2 other officials came over perhaps to discuss what was overheard. And it'll be Schuster to shoot the technical foul free throws. So it'll be 2 free throws and ball.
Schuster sinking that second technical free throw.
So Schuster ties the game, 57-57. That was also the 10th personal against Roseville. So 2 free throws the rest of the way now for Chippewa Valley. Under 3 minutes left. And a timeout called by the Big Reds.
Sounded a little bit nervous there, Brad.
30-second timeout, Big Red.
Well, I wasn't quite sure. The whistle came and the referee was very slow to signal a timeout call.
There has been a lot of confusing whistle blows in this game, so it's easy to question every time you hear it go.
Energy in the gym has picked up. The chatter amongst fans and officials has picked up. Conversations between coaches and officials has picked up. Apparently, chatter amongst the players as well.
Tension seems high on that court right now.
Drama here on a Monday night in the MAC Red. A co-share of the championship on the line for Chippewa Valley. A win here tonight would give them just that. Would give them that all-important 7th win. And it's a steal. Ricky Johnson up ahead. Hanging, hitting, and one. Joe Liffey went in for the block shot. Came away empty, committed the foul. And Brian Hunter will go to the line to finish off the old-fashioned 3-point play.
Deshaun Goodwin in for the Big Reds.
Deshaun Goodwin in now for Joe Liffey.
Brian Hunter to the line.
Brian Hunter to the line to give the Panthers a 3-point lead. Nothing but nylon there for Brian Hunter. 60-57. Panthers after the make. Put on that full court pressure. Gotta get it in. Schuster comes in at the last second to pick up the pass. Up ahead to Lilly. Lilly, coast to coast. Too easy there for Devin Lilly. Back and forth we go. Crossover dribble. Fall away jumper in and out. Schuster comes down with the rebound. Lilly, we know he can take over games. Lilly feeling it now, can't get the fall. Try to tap it out. Wright comes down with the offensive rebound. Kicks it out to Mosley. Gives it to Schuster. Schuster lost track of it. Oh no. Ricky Johnson up ahead. Schuster gets back, alters the shot, and watches it roll in.
Ricky Johnson.
Disappointing last few possessions here for the Big Reds. They need to make something happen on this play if they want to stay in this game.
Too many turnovers right now for Chippewa Valley offensively. Minute 40 left. 3-point lead now for the Panthers. Schuster with it. Lilly comes in off the curl. Couldn't get it to him. They go back door now to Mosley. Was trying to dump it down low, and they traveled. Empty possessions aplenty here right now for the Big Reds. It's been their bugaboo all season. That 6-game win streak, it didn't bite them. Let's come back to hunt them against Dakota and L'Anse Creuse North. Trying to squash a 2-game losing streak. Trying to remain at the top of the MAC Red standings. Gonna need a come-from-behind victory here tonight with 1:10 now left. Panthers, Derek Bolton, he's been phenomenal here tonight for Roseville. Amante Green just gonna bleed out the clock. Why hurry? No shot clock in the MHSAA. Amante Green now goes in right there defensively, and a battle for it. And AJ Scott will go to the line. 10th foul on Chippewa Valley, so 2 free throws.
To the line is AJ Scott.
First is no good. Big miss at the line for AJ Scott. Big difference between a 4-point lead and a 3-point lead. Scott couldn't hit. Battle for that loose ball. And oh, we got a foul call. Wow. Wow. Amani Green got called for the foul, and that put Schuster on the line. Green can't believe it. His head coach can't believe it.
Talk about a nail biter.
This will be 2 foul shots here for Schuster. It's been hot and cold at the line here tonight, but calmly knocks that one down.
Now, what do you do at this play if you're Schuster? Do you purposely try to miss it to get 2 more points out of your teammates, or do you sink this one and hope for 1 more possession?
Yeah, I think you sink it and play some defense, and he will do just that. Full court pressure. Derek Bolton has been phenomenal in this game with 19 points. Amante Green. Bolton, that's probably not the guy you want to foul, and that's what they will do. They had him trapped along the sideline right in front of his visitor's bench. And just the slightest of pushes will cause Bolton to shoot a couple free throws. Bolton 1 of 2 here tonight from the line, and he misses.
This Chippewa crowd roaring, hoping he misses this 2nd free throw attempt.
Big Red faithful in attendance, makes some noise. Bolton
Game's
knocks
not
down the
over.
2nd. 63-61, and now Schuster's forced to call a timeout. Is having a hard time getting that basketball in. Avoids a 5-second violation by calling a timeout. So, we reset. Panthers in front, 63-61. 32.7 seconds. The ball will be inbounded along the baseline. Chippewa Valley, because there was a make at the free throw line, could technically run the baseline. Schuster, obviously the inbounder. At this point, the offense will go entirely through one man, and that is Devin Lilly.
Chippewa Valley making a bad habit out of taking these games down to the wire in the last few seconds to play.
That truly has been their MO all season long. Had a 5-point win against Roseville, a 3-point win over L'Anse Creuse North, a 1-point win over Dakota, a 1-point loss to L'Anse Creuse North. Just tight basketball games all season long. Heck, their first game of the season against Grosse Pointe North was a 4-point victory. So they have been involved in a lot of tight contests. See what head coach Corey Smith drew up here. It'll be Ricky Mosley this time to inbound. They go for the home run ball with Devin Lilly sprinting down the floor. Now he'll come back to help out. Devin Lilly has a right wing side. Devin Lilly goes in, couldn't get it to go. That's a big miss. The Panthers come down with it. They sprint to the front court, and a foul comes.
Easy to say that isn't what Chippewa Valley wanted to happen.
That was a good, clean, open look. Devin Lilly got all the way to the basket and just could not lay it in. Almonte Green now with 2 free throws. Green hits the first. Green hits the second, and they're up 4. Chippewa Valley does not need a 3-pointer. That's a dangerous pass. Mosley comes down with it. Mosley goes in for the jam and couldn't hit. Goodwin floats one up, no good. Mosley with the offensive rebound. Woo! Take a deep breath. Mosley went in for the jam. Ball took a huge bounce off the back iron. Goodwin came down with the offensive rebound, was able to quickly shuffle a pass to Mosley. 65-63. Chippewa Valley, no timeouts remaining.
What do you do here? 9 seconds left in this game, and you're not coming out with the ball, and you're down by 2. You're going to have to make a big defensive decision here.
More than likely, Chippewa Valley will obviously defend the inbound pass. They will apply full court pressure. If they cannot come away with a steal, they will automatically foul and make the Panthers earn it at the free throw line. Panthers have been clutch here in this 4th quarter from the line. They've made 7 free throws in the 4th quarter. Seven of 10 from the free throw line in the 4th quarter. Ricky Johnson to inbound. 2-player streak down the floor. And Schuster committed the foul. They'll send Green back. Green knocked down both free throws on his last time down the floor.
Schuster, his third.
About 0.8 of a second came off the clock. That's the 3rd foul on Schuster. Green has 18, Bolton has 20. Green now has 19, and more importantly, the Panthers have a 3-point lead. Don't forget the Big Reds do not have a timeout. If they come down with the rebound, they're gonna have to quickly get this up without a timeout. Their head coach, Greg Boulder, says do not foul. They're not looking to foul here, up 3. Little surprised at that. Lilly goes all the way in. The Panthers will give him that look, and that's it. Oh, no. Oh, no. Devin Lilly.
Final score, Panthers 66, Big Reds 65.
The Big Reds needed a 3, and Devin Lilly took it in for the layup. Chippewa Valley didn't have any timeouts. They couldn't stop the clock. And Chippewa Valley will fall by a point here tonight.
What a matchup, though.
That is a heartbreaking loss for Chippewa Valley.
Taking the trash to the appropriate receptacles as you leave the arena.
I don't know what else to say.
Again, please
Devin Lilly
support
and
our
Chippewa
events.
Valley needed a three-pointer there on the final possession of the ball game, and they failed to even
Once again,
take a
thank you
three.
for supporting high school sports.
Well, that'll do it tonight. A heartbreaker, to say the least. Your final score, the Roseville Panthers 66, the Chippewa Valley Big Reds 65. Chippewa Valley falls to 6-3 now in league play. It's their third straight loss. The Roseville Panthers improve to 4-4. Brittany, your final thoughts here tonight?
Nothing but disbelief. They had a chance to go for that three, and I just don't know why they didn't take it. But it was definitely a game to watch, and it was well fought by both teams, and Roseville just wanted it a little bit more on that tail end.
Congratulations to the Panthers, the victors once again here tonight for our entire hardworking Chippewa Valley Cable Television crew. And for my broadcast partner, Brittany Packer, I'm Brad Fetter saying goodnight one final time from the Valley. We'll see you next time right here on Chippewa Valley Cable Television.